impact your life, your wallet, your security. Join Stephen Matheson, Selvin Mitchell, and Ronaldo Rollux, 3 employment law and human resource management consulting professionals, as they unpack the complexities, analyze the power plays, and reveal the often hidden realities. Understand the game. Understand your role in it. The Third Umpire, critically analyzing Trinidad and Tobago's economic and political realities on how they affect your daily lives. Tune in Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. on The Street 919 FM. Don't just listen to the news. Understand it.
A lovely day for cricket. Blue skies and gentle breeze. The Indians are waiting now to play the West Indies. A signal from the umpire. The match is going to start. The cricketers come on the field. They all look very smart. Irapali Prasanna, Gigi Boy and Wadeka, Krishna Murthy and Vishnu Mankad. Them boys could well play cricket on any kind of wicket. They make the West Indies team look so bad. We was in all kind of trouble. Joey Carew pull a muscle. Clive Lloyd get about 3 run out. We was in trouble without a doubt. It was Gavaskar, the real master, just like a wall. We couldn't out Gavaskar at all, not at all. You know the West Indies couldn't out Gavaskar at all. Venkataraghavan, Bedi in a turban, Vijay Jaishima, Jayantilal. They helped to win the series against the West Indies at Sabina Park and Queen's Park Oval. 158 by Kanai really sent our hopes up high. Noriega 9 for 95. The Indian team, they still survive. It was Gavaskar, the real master, just like a wall. We couldn't out Gavaskar at all, not at all. You know the West Indies couldn't out Gavaskar at all. Janjurani, Solka Abidali, Dilip Sadesai and Vishwanath. They make West Indies bowlers look like second-raters when those fellows came out here to bat. West Indies tried holder and keep voice. They had no other choice. They even tried with Newton Dow, but a shot at the sorry they bring him now. It was Gavaskar, the real master, just like a wall. We couldn't out Gavaskar at all, not at all. You know the West Indies couldn't out Gavaskar at all. Desmond Lewis, also Charlie Davis, they take a little shame from out we face. But so Buzz as a captain, he won plenty coaching before we cricket end up in a disgrace. Beatty here that he became a father, he catch out whole first in the cover. But when Sobers here, he too had a son. He made duck and went back in the pavilion. It was Gavaskar, the like a wall. We couldn't longer faster at all, not at all. You know the West Indies couldn't longer faster at all. You know the West Indies couldn't longer faster at all. You know the West Indies couldn't longer faster at all.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, all our listeners, wherever you are. This hour at 5 o'clock, this 5 o'clock hour. Today is Friday, and usually we have a short show on Friday. And today I am also late. I should say the program is also late. But the show goes on. So, I want to say good evening to all those listening to us abroad, those listening to us on your way home this very nice and sunny evening. And good evening to the owners and managers of this radio station. Those other umpires who are not here, I'm also saying good evening to you wherever you are. I am Stephen Matheson, and this is the third umpire show you are listening to this evening. This show, of course, on a Friday, we kind of like take it down sometimes, although there are a lot of issues to discuss. This show is really a cricket show, and what we do, we try to examine the batting side and the bowling side, one against the other, how they are batting, how they are bowling. We do a lot of critique on the batting side because, of course, they are the one in the wickets, and they are the one that will usually get most of the highlight. So today I am alone, and of course I will invite you to join in on the show with me, and you be the third umpire today. So there are a lot of issues to discuss. You can call in and talk about anything, almost anything, because of course we have a wide understanding of the goings on both in Trinidad and Tobago and geopolitically, so we can talk on almost any topic. I see that nurses have I don't know if to say strike, but nurses have seems to be participating in some industrial action, and this would have come out to a large extent out of what would have happened a couple of weeks ago with the chairman of I think it's the NCRC. As a result, nurses have been agitating since for a number of things, and there are laws that make certain kind of restrictions for industrial action among some class of workers in Trinidad and Tobago. And I think nurses are one of the group that fall in that class. So I know persons would have also been affected. There are now a lot of people, if not the majority of people in Trinidad and Tobago, who engage or who uses the public health system. They would generally be affected. If you go to the hospital now, you may realize that you cannot get the kind of attention as fast as you normally will or normally would on a normal day. Today I was looking at some clips, and people are at the hospital waiting for hours, and they're just not aren't able to get the kind of attention that they need to get. Now, health is very serious. Sometimes when you're sick, you need attention one time. So maybe we could start there, because that is something that is fluid, that is something needs some kind of ventilation. I'm not too sure if they are protesting so much for money as they are protesting for other things, and that is the strengthening of the human resource capacity in the nursing fraternity. and better compensation too, and of course that to a large extent is creating a kind of problem, because one of the things that would have snowballed this kind of action to where it is today is the fact that there were nurses who was kind of like working like around the clock using pool, and that they seem to have had some kind of concern with the pool system, and that kind of thing, and the chairman would have raised some issues with it, rightfully so. I mean, I don't know if he would have, I don't know if he would have used the tact necessary to do so, but to me today, when you talk about workers, everything comes across as very sensitive, and it ends in this kind of action sometimes. So I would like to hear what you have to say, because obviously this nursing situation, like it or not, will affect some people and some very vulnerable people in society. So call us, let's hear what you have to say. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, Mr. Matterson, and good evening to your listeners.
Yes, good evening.
Mr. Matterson, in every institution, you would find some misfits, and it have some nurses who really not supposed to be nurses. At this time, I am in full support of the nurses' action, right? And you say you're not sure if it's money alone. It's more than just money that they are protesting for. It's a combination of things, the majority of which is respect, right? Because sometimes people have to put you in these positions so you would understand how much you need them, or how much you're supposed to value and respect their contribution. It cannot be that the people in power continue to disregard the efforts of these persons and don't treat with them the same way that the state treats with the people who hold political power, and offer them all kind of perks and allowances, and you name it. Make sure that they're comfortable, even when the job that they are doing is not good or leading towards any betterment for the country. So I am in full support of the actions of the nurses. It's time that people who are really putting out this great effort get some respect in this place.
All right, but let me ask you something. Stay on the line.
Yes.
I want to be a fly in your ointment, just so that we think through this thing properly. Do you understand that nurses are essential services workers?
Yes.
Right. Do you understand why they may be considered essential services?
Of course.
Right. And do you understand that sickness and emergencies are things you doesn't know when it's coming? It just happen, right?
Correct.
Most of the people in Trinidad and Tobago do have insurance. They can't go to a private hospital. It's very expensive, as a matter of fact, to go there. Hundreds of thousands of dollars for simple procedures. So the only other alternative, also that you probably trying to fix yourself, is going to the hospital. Right? You understand that, right?
Yep.
And so now you understand why they are called essential services personnel. Could you imagine your sister, your mother, your brother, your grandmother, in deep pain? You're feeling like you'll die, pain, you're catheter or whatever, you have some bladder problem, something, and you end up in the hospital at this time. How you will survive, given the fact that there are no one ready to assist you, because the doctors can't work by themselves? How you'll survive? How you'll feel about that?
Well, the thing is,
remember when you join the service as a nurse, you join the service knowing certain things, right? Knowing the fact that you are essential service and your position is a little different from everybody else. So I just wanted to rationalize all of that with what you just said, because while I too empathize with them, I mean, you don't have to stay and work as a nurse. I empathize with them, but understand also that you also have the act allows for you to address those kind of issues in a different way. It's not like you can't
Correct.
address it. It allows for you to address it in a different way. So
Correct.
you doing what you're doing there, that is putting the country and the people in a certain kind of danger because you are a central services worker. But I'm just saying that I'm not taking any particular sides, but I'm saying that so that you'll have another side, you'll be able to look at it in a different way, in a more compassionate sense, right? Because I've seen some videos where persons are in hospitals and nurses and senior nurses had to come and talk to them and tell them what the situation is and they had to wait and people in pain and things. So tell me what you think. No.
Nice. I like the fact that you outlined this in the way that you did, because just the reality of what will actually happen if we have these essential workers taking these kind of work to rule action. It's supposed to at least bring certain people to a position that, hey, we have to treat these people with a certain level of respect so that they would be willingly come out and perform and do their duty.
It also becomes a criminal, not just normal charge. If you're found to really be doing that, it could be held criminally liable. By the way,
I will reach to that.
According to the law,
I will reach to that. I will reach to that part, right? But I'm saying that if you know that, then you're supposed to treat people with some respect. If you know what will happen if they don't turn up to work, right? And the thing is, a lot of the utterances to justify the stance of the politicians against making these nurses comfortable and feel appreciated, right, is what this be kind of the trigger for some people. Because, as you rightfully say, if nobody comes to relieve you, you can't go. You have patients to tend to, right? Sometimes it already short staff, so people have to be doubling up and tripling up, right? The person who talk about they ramping up so much back pay, I no business talking about that.
But one doesn't justify the other. These are saying the law, there are prescribed ways to deal with that.
And I'm not saying that you're wrong, Mr. Matheson. You're correct in that regard. But let me try to speed it up. The reality is, right, when persons are faced with certain situations in life, right, sometimes they make decisions, right, so that the end will justify the means. So, for instance, there were times in history when doing certain things were criminal or illegal, but because the ends justify the means, persons had no problem. They willingly took part in what was seen as illegal, and it is now legal today. So what I'm saying is, it is not that the nurses just come out because they feel to, the disrespect, right? The constant shortcomings, and you expect them to work at such a high standard. You continue to hear the patient-to-nurse ratio, right? And the thing is, it have plenty nurses doing a tremendous job in this country because many persons just continue to go to the same healthcare and get service. Some people have bad experiences, but at the end of the day, Mr. Matheson, the people who have the power and the resources to set policy and everything else, they will hardly ever be seen in there. But they will boast and say we are the best this and the best that. And as they get a gas pain, they're running out of the country to check it out. As I say, the nurses and them, I support the action because if you don't respect people, what do you expect them to do? Not show you how much you need them. And this is where the nurses find themselves today. So I'm in full support, especially after the entire hierarchy of the state received those heavy increases under the SRC. I don't expect nobody to take a backseat when they see the people in power experience that heavy increase in salary, right? And for doing nothing, basically, for doing nothing.
Listen.
Everybody else.
I hear you. I still think your argument is irrational, but I hear you. I think you take the moral high ground, but there are other sides to this thing, and you see the humanitarian side to it is the side probably you're not grasping. But
No,
I know people. I don't know if you ever been you ever get really sick and had to go in a hospital. You have no money to go in a private hospital.
No, I wasn't in that situation, but the times when I had to go to the hospital, I didn't experience no poor service. You understand? As what some persons would be referring to, that they had to endure.
Bro,
but I'm saying,
talk to a sick person, talk to a really sick person today who trying to access the public service and at the mercy of this situation. Talk to one of them and hear what they say. Some of them might have died, as a matter of fact. Right?
But
so I just saying.
Yeah.
I just saying.
Yeah.
If you're a nurse and you understand all this, you'd rather stay as a nurse. I mean, you could go and work in private, you could do other things. If it affecting you so bad to break the law. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Right.
Right.
It's important. Right? So Trinidad and Tobago, that was just my position. I would like to hear what your position is. My position is that this is an essential service, like all other essential services, and you choose to do this job. I mean, you might like it or whatever, but you could go and work in private, you could go and do something else if you find that you're not getting the kind of redress you need to get quick as you need it. You could go away, you could do a number of things. Good evening. Good evening, caller.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Well, this program is an interesting program to me, and I'm glad I'm able to listen to this particular topic this evening.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The caller before was making the point that at this point in time, the politicians interfering with the performance of the work of the nurses based on how they're treating them.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the first time this happened. In the time of the COVID experience, I think we as a people need to be thinking through things properly. Because I like this program, but it still has a yellow flavor to it that I could tolerate still. Right? In 2020, in the time of the COVID, when the PNM administration was in charge, Trinidad and Tobago needed the medical fertility. They needed doctors and nurses to be on their jobs. And they did do that. And while they was doing that, the current Prime Minister under UNC was criticizing them. As a matter of fact, she called them murderers. That was the term, how she described the doctors and the nurses working to save the lives of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And I don't know if we could remember that. All for the politics of the day. She felt that it was making sense to refer to doctors and nurses doing their jobs as murderers. When you look at how she treating the gentleman who was in charge of the whole program right now, she sees him as an enemy based on his work that he performed in that COVID time. After the COVID period, the administration made a decision to pay nurses and doctors, the medical group that was working alongside to keep the citizens safe. Even when they get sick, make sure you take care of them. They made a decision to give them some sort of financial consideration. And that too was criticized. I think, it's time for us to examine exactly what's going on. We are in a situation that says the people who are in charge at this time are disrespecting everybody. but they're making sure are taking care of themselves financially. Because the same SRC recommendation that they was quarreling about, they went in there now and they're living it up. They're taking every cent from the treasury. You're not hearing them complaining about that. And no way in the future, I believe, they will say, well, look, we're under some financial constraints. Let us see how we could adjust that so we could look after the other citizens like doctors and nurses and pay them the overtime as the case may be, or even the teachers. No way that will not happen in the next couple of months or weeks because they're going to live it up. And a portion of citizens here supporting that behavior. So while it's true nurses and essential services have some scope of operation when they're doing the work, it have a time when you just cross the line with them. And therefore they just have to do something to get you back in line, to get you in check. And right now, this executive not taking no check. They're doing whatever they want in this country. Thanks for giving me the time, Gretchen.
Yeah, and I appreciate your I appreciate your side of the argument, and the only thing I want to say that we have no hue here. I really don't have any hue here. We, even though we may vote in a particular direction, when we come here, we try to bring it to you as neutral and as objective as possible. We call ourselves umpires, and we umpire the whole show or the whole scene. We analyze the topics and we break it down the way we see it. And we are professionals in our own right also. And this happens to be one of the areas for which we practice. I want to say this also, that, sometimes I criticized the Red Party also. I criticize the Yellow Party also. We do that here sometimes because we see it how we see it, right? And sometimes I really believe that Trinidadians, I sometimes have this kind of feeling like we looking for magic. We're very irrational sometimes. And we does not understand why certain things need to happen and under what conditions it could happen. And that's my dilemma. It is difficult sometimes to understand that we are not seeing things maybe the way we should be seeing it. And if we start to adopt a nationalistic perspective in everything, then more than likely we will be in a situation where we will probably see things through a different lens and understand why these kind of things is could have a deleterious effects on society, which would outweigh what the glory that you are looking for by your action. And that's all I have to say.
Well, I hear you and I agree. And that's why I listen to this program. Because I find the program has a nice balance, a nice way of examining issues, challenges that going on in Trinidad and Tobago and at times outside of Trinidad and Tobago. But I still need to be clear on certain facts when coming to the UNC empowers the executive. That must be clearly identified. Because the fact remains that if when you take time to go back into the COVID experience, that same Prime Minister that we have there mentioned when coming to the persons doing the work as professionals in health, looking solely after the health of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, she was able to call them murderers. And up to today, she hasn't had any reason to answer for that. As a matter of fact, she was rewarded in 2025. and given the prime ministership. And her whole political party got 20, 28, 29 how much seats in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. That is what the reality is. And that has never been discussed on no program. So this situation with the nurses and the doctors, and even going after the person who was in charge of COVID and going after him, there's no conversation on that.
And you see, that's one of the challenges with, and I agree with you. That's one of the challenges. Sometimes you lose the moral authority to challenge or to say certain things when the public know you would have done certain other the opposite in the past. And so I'm agreeing with you, right? But
one more thing.
But who suffers in all of that is the people who needs the service at the end of the day. And that's the challenge. Because at the end of the day, the biggest public or the publics that pays the most for everything else is the people who need it most. Because
we are the ones who vote for these people.
Correct.
So we will pay the price.
So who you think losing? Who you think losing from the nurses striking today? Who?
The population that says, listen, I'm sick and I'm going to the hospital.
Thank you.
And that's right. But we get in that pain because
they paying, by the way, they paying huge in taxes and VAT and everything.
And everything. And we went and vote for a group of people who have no concern for the little man. They do not feel the pain.
But where did this start, though? This started with asking for more money, or this started with a statement made by a chairman?
This started with, I really I wasn't following the whole scenario because I understand that part of that was treating with some pooling and some scenario where nurses was getting some extra money while they're doing their work based on certain overtime activities and whatever. And he would have sat down and make some decision and whatever. But all what he's making says that here was happening at the same time SRC, which is what you say was given opposition to, would have sit down, the Salary Review Commission, and say, listen, these same politicians would be entitled for an increase in salary. And while that was being happening, while that's going on, you was complaining. Now that you're there, and you're seeing the reality of the economics of Trinidad and Tobago, what is stopping you from reversing those Salary Review Commission? What is stopping you?
What is stopping you? What might be stopping you? What might be stopping them is the fact that they don't have the resources to do it. That's what might be stopping them, because I'm almost sure if they had the resources to do it, and if the economics allowed for them to do it, they might have done it already. But it just doesn't. From where I sit, from what I see, it probably just does not allow for them to do. So if everybody could eat little and live a little longer, then Trinidad and Tobago might be a better place. I'm saying all of this when we take into consideration what's happening in other parts of the world, the Middle East. The shitstorm ain't hit Trinidad and Tobago yet, but it will. And when it does, we will be in a worse off position than we are in today. Right? Inflation coming in, and it's coming in triple digits just now.
Correct. And what I'm saying is that when they look at their Salary Review Commission and the money they're getting right now as ministers and whatever else, in one ministry you have 4 and 5 people as ministers and junior minister and junior to junior minister and all kind of thing going on inside of there. Right? Thousands of dollars of taxpayers' money spending under our Salary Review Commission that you say you had a problem with outside as the opposition. But now that you're going in there as the executive, all of a sudden that's not troubling you. And the people who are essential, you have decided to interfere with their little monies coming in every month. And at the same time, affect the service that they give to your citizens when they come. And you normal, as a politician up and down the place driving and having a good time, and nobody in Trinidad and Tobago not addressing that as a serious issue, but you want to continue to talk about the nurses and the who come in to say, well, look, based on everything, We are tired. We are fed up of the situation that is going on. And the only way we could show that discomfort is to withhold our service from the citizens that you as the politicians said that when you win under UNC, everybody wins.
Mm-hmm.
It is crazy.
But I hear you.
I continue to sit down and stay in the pavilion right now and enjoy the program that you're presenting this evening.
You know, I hear you.
Thanks for your time.
I hear you with that asymmetrical. Thank you. I hear you with that asymmetrical argument.
Thanks for your time. Thanks for your time.
Thanks.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Let me take back this caller here. Good evening, caller. Caller, good evening.
Yeah, Mr. Matheson, I really enjoyed the discourse with you and the previous caller.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But, you know, we have all different type of occupations that the state has under its purview.
Yeah.
And at no point in time does anything go wrong with a perk or a salary that has that any politician has to enjoy. But in every other sector, you could hear about challenges when it's time for other persons to receive their just due. And the thing is, people in the country, well, myself, is just asking that everybody be treated in the same manner. It cannot be that why it never having a glitch and politicians' salary coming late. And then too, when these politicians speak and talk about the doom and gloom from on both sides, right, I am saying that they don't ever look at anything that they enjoy to cut back on. They have no business, if they're not running the country to prosperity, to be getting entertainment allowance in 2026. They have no business getting that when you're telling people this is all you could get, this is all we could offer you, cut back here, cut back there. We really need some leaders who are willing to lead by example, you know. Because as I continue to say, one of the reasons, right, why we are here today is mostly because of what Dr. Rowley did by having a whole heap of ministers giving people advice on how to cut back, but accepting a ridiculous offer from the SRC at the time when you're advising the entire nation to wait until 2027 to experience some financial relief. It is the height of wickedness. But some people going right down supporting that type of action on both sides of the fence. Because even if they are unable to reverse what was done by the SRC, it have plenty things all they're enjoying that is a burden on the state, especially when all you're not doing nothing to relieve the hardships of everybody else in society. We still renting buildings that are empty and them kind of ridiculousness. You see this place, you see this country, it will only get better if people make a decision that they will do better. And it have some people who have already decided that they're not going to choose that path. They're not going to do better.
All right. Okay,
and if you change certain things, all right.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll turn back.
Thank you. Good evening, caller.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Matheson.
Good evening.
Maybe I'm calling your program too regular.
Mm-hmm.
The thing, the trade unionism, or in fact, union protests or demand for wages in this country, historically been tied up with the politics. And if we, I'm not versed in industrial relations, but I know that there's a dispute or some issue with respect to the nurses and the RHA or the whatever it is, the hospital authorities.
Yeah.
And it all has to do with the question of pooling and people working and over long hours, and probably an attempt by the chairman to control that and control the payments and what that he says that, in fact, what I heard is that, I want to quote the man, but I could assume it, but where people were receiving income way and above what might have been reasonable in the circumstances.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, I mean, you see, we need to contextualize what exactly he would have said and why he would have said it. And
yes.
so the thing is, receiving income way and above what you should be receiving is not a bad thing if you're working for it.
Yes, but that's it.
But if it is not possible for you to have worked for it and you're receiving it,
yeah,
then that is a problem, especially in light of the current climate and
yes.
and the fact that we in a situation where we just scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Right.
And so that's the concern, and I don't know how it reached to this, how it snowballed into this, but it's not going in a good place at all.
The thing I'm saying is this: you have people with their own political agenda who are behind trying to woo these people, these nurses, because nurses probably you weren't around at that time, but nurses, they have the how should I say, the record of bringing down government.
Yes, in 1981.
Yes.
There's a strike that did that.
Right, and therefore there are certain people who are wooing them on, holding on to the just code. And this is what is happening here. The fact remains is that yes, the regional authority, the health authority, and the trade unions need to sit down and negotiate and have this matter resolved one way or the other. That is where this thing has to be. And not people going on that this one did say that and that one did say. That's not the issue. The issue here is with the regional authority and health authority and the trade unions with respect to payment, and which probably one side is claiming it is not justified and the other one is saying it is justified. How you resolve that? So you need dialogue, you need negotiation, you need to have communication between the different parties to resolve this matter. And it happens not just here. In England, over the last 3 or 4 years, but more recently in the last year or so, they have had problems with resident doctors, junior doctors, taking strike action again for salaries and increases and whatnot. And well, they need to resolve it. But what I'm saying, yes, you who suffer in the end is the poor people who cannot afford to pay these exorbitant fees at private hospitals. And therefore, like England, the minister, the secretary in charge of health would communicate with the people. He would let them know what is happening. Hey, listen, the doctors on strike, but we're going to do so and so. People are going to call in and we make certain arrangements for the chairman of the regional health authority, probably the minister of health, needs to do that. Needs to communicate with the people. And the union also can't be stiff-nosed. They must, this is the person, you have to sit down and talk. You have to say, you have to be willing to negotiate. Who is suffering? And not people coming and bringing all kind of things. She did say this, and when she did this, that is the material. Deal with the issue, the facts, the issue that now confronts the nurses now, and the issue that very side issue that the hospital, the people in the authority has to deal with.
And you see,
you
see my position in listening to all the argument on this whole thing. I will agree with all those who are talking about moral authority to speak and that kind of thing. I agree with you because I say that all the time. But we live in now. We can't go back in what somebody said 3 years or 5 years ago.
5 years ago, you wasted my time.
This situation. No, we have to deal with it now. Just like they dealt with it when it happened then. Right?
Yes.
So my thing is, listen, Trinidad and Tobago is not in a good position. A lot of us do know that. Right? A lot of us do not know that. We're not in a good position. And the position we are in, and there are other things coming. right? I don't know if you realize that Iran did not. Iran is now saying that they cannot endure the conditions of that ceasefire if Israel do not stop attacking Lebanon. That
Yes.
going to create more problems, right? That
Well-
going to create more problems in the Middle East, right?
Yes.
More problems that has already been created. The price of
Yeah.
oil will remain over $100 a barrel for quite some time, right?
Yeah.
And may go to, if the situation escalates, it will go to far more than that. And we might say, well, okay, our budget was pegged on $70-something a barrel and is over 100, so we should be getting more money. But think about it. Think about
it has
all the
impli- it has-
inflation
Yeah.
that comes with it.
Yeah, it has implication for life in this country,
Right?
living in this country.
So that is not going. That will destroy
yeah.
the
Gains,
little money you're
small
making
gains. Yeah.
from that. So, but we
Yeah.
not understand. We aren't capable of understanding that. And if
No, well,
if
no,
we
well, we
don't
don't-
understand these things, we don't understand where we are.
we don't want to understand that. We into politics. We want power. And anything we could hold on to. I heard one the other day talking about they want, where's Roger? That is what they want. And especially, I'm saying this World Bank report, which speaks to, transformation and probably possible growth from next year. These things have people jiggering, people angry, they're desperate. So I really not going to divorce the politics from what is taking place with those people on the streets and the people who are wooing them on, right? And I'm saying the issue, I am saying that those people in charge of health and whatnot, the minister and whatnot, try and have this matter resolved. You can negotiate, you can dialogue, and communicate with the people and try to have it resolved and communicate with the people, because people are suffering. If people go to the hospital not getting care, they're not getting the kind of care that they believe that they deserve, they can't afford otherwise. You need to communicate with them. This is what happened.
Yeah, and that's it. I will be one of those who say that the government making some serious errors, some serious blunders.
Yeah. So just don't come and tell me you are no health crisis in this country.
Yeah.
When people go in there and people are saying, hey, listen, I have to wait for how many hours, and you telling me that who feels it knows it.
Exactly.
And you communicate with the people.
Yeah.
Do not let this thing get out of control. This thing is already entangled with opposition politics.
And we
they
also
are
have
going to
also
exploit
have to
that.
empathize with the nurses too. We
Yes.
have to empathize with the nurses too. They have a genuine
Yeah.
concern.
Yes.
Right? So it's just an understanding by
Yeah.
all sides, understanding the whole
To resolve the
moral
thing.
imperative,
Yes.
and trying to fix it.
That's it. Because as they say, when the elephants fight, what happens?
The grass suffers.
And
gets
in this
trampled.
context, when the regional authority and the union struggled, is it poor people, those people who
The
could
poor
least
people,
afford?
I was looking at that video
So
today, and I was sad.
Yeah. So I expect, this is what I'm calling for. I don't know about where should it say this and where should it say that. Ain't carry. Listen, man, this country, we have to move forward. You see this kind of backward kind of thinking and bacchanal and we against them. No. You have an issue here, deal with it. Yes, we know that the government doesn't have the kind of resources to deal with it, but we could sit down and talk, sit down, dialogue, negotiate, communicate with the people, both sides. And the union itself has to be reasonable and they can't be stiff-nosed. You have to be able, you must be willing to sit down and in some circumstances compromise and whatnot and ensure that this thing is resolved, in a peaceful manner, in a manner that would benefit, or it would be the interest not only of the country but to the people, the patients, and the nurses. So I don't know where they're going with this and telling me that there are no health crisis. Father, communicate with the people, try and meet with the people and discuss with them and see what could happen. And you can't be stiff-nosed and hold on to a position and you're not willing, you're intransigent, you're not willing to move. And no, we don't want that. Try and negotiate that.
Sometimes we don't and it happens with people who have, right? They don't understand the have-nots. And they don't understand that, you know, a lot of people do have insurance. And even with those who have insurance, the insurance don't cover certain things. And the insurance will never cover certain things. You know what's the real price of medical services in private institutions in Trinidad and Tobago? You could never ever see inside of one of them places if you have no money. And if you don't have good insurance.
No.
Right? So but in emergencies, you want assistance one time.
Yes.
And that's why we had to praise our national health care system. But in times like these, you have a breakdown.
Yes.
That's a problem.
And all I want to make the call is that you have to be empathic. Sometimes people up there don't understand how the suffering of the people on the bottom, you know, the challenges that they face, and therefore they may not see the urgency in trying to resolve that matter. They need to have both the unions again. You can't be intransigent. You have to be willing to, in the interest of those people at the bottom, and the health authorities, the government, the Minister of Health, has to make the effort to have this matter resolved. You are saying one thing, but as I always say, who feels it knows it. And when you go, especially in a time like crime now, poor people living from wherever they live, to come to Port of Spain, you have crime ridden and all these dangerous people leaving the house, they're sick, and they get into the hospital there. Sometimes 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 11 o'clock, they're still there. They travel and all. Try and have the thing resolved amicably. Try and do that in the interest of those people. And the nurses, again, and through their representative, must be willing to sit down and dialogue. Try and reason out this thing, communicate and deal with this matter in the interest of those people the poor people who are least able to access private health. And the nurses, yes, you need to resolve that situation. So I'm not going in this political kind of thing about who did this and who. I'm not going there. I am business with that. That's the politics. Who want to get back into power and who did give this and who take money here. I ain't going with that. Because there was no protest when those people take their money. When in fact, I ain't going to go and talk about that. Mr. Mathis, thanks again.
Yeah. And I want to close on the note that, you know, with the last caller and what he's saying, we need to start to see things without seeing colors.
But this is it. Right? You see, everything is a politics. Yeah, all right, thanks again. Yeah.
Good evening, caller.
Mathis, how are you going?
I'm good.
Hard time?
Yeah. Well, you have a few minutes. Go ahead.
Mathis, have a nice weekend.
Huh?
Have a nice weekend.
Have a nice weekend.
Yeah. Now, hear what me. I have so much to say after I hear the last few
Talk quick. I'm sure you can say what you had to say in 2 minutes.
No. I will talk Monday. But I will say this.
All right.
It has some dangerous people in this country. Have a nice. I will make sure and call Monday.
Have a good evening.
Have a good evening.
Have a good evening.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
you vote for your own self. When Bodo will say, don't have crisis in the air. Did you hear that? Hello? Lakram will say that. We will talk on it, please. How is it not wrong?
So, callers, you know, today is really a short day. So, we just on for I was just on for an hour, and we just under a 1 minute. So, what I want to see is that as we leave today, maybe let me get back. I was going to get back. I had a little thing there. But yeah, as we leave today, you know, if we could just unite in our thoughts at least, and think about Trinidad and Tobago as opposed to thinking about yellow and red. And the reason why I'm saying that, because when you think one-sided, the other side to a large extent are placed under pressure, as we see in today. Right? So the thing is, if we think Trinidad and Tobago, we think national, I mean, there are people that is hurting, obviously. There are persons around who felt as though they were disenfranchised in some way under the PNM. Some feel that they're being disenfranchised now under the UNC. But at the same time, if the majority of us start thinking Trinidad and Tobago national, then all our action and everything we do will be to the benefit of the people that vote, the people that pay in taxes, the people that need us the most. And I want to close with saying that, you know, on this weekend, try to be generous, try to be good to each other, and I'm almost sure that Monday we will come back talking a different language. So good evening, and have a good weekend.
And so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street 919 FM.
What are you doing? Big D, big fun, KFC, so we big on the ground. The big nation, cause you don't know we were the crown. Say what you want, KFC, so we lead in front. We are big nation, TNT and KFC, one motion.
Come to KFC, let we hold our vibe, and let we join together, because KFC is life. It's a big D.
Say what you want, KFC, so we lead in front. We are big nation, TNT and KFC, one motion.
Friday is for feasting. Fantastic Fridays. 5 pieces of chicken